Ecclesiastes chapter 7. The best in life. A good reputation at the time of death is better than loving care at the time of birth. It's better to go funeral than attend a feast. Funerals remind us that we all must die. Choose sorrow over laughter because a sad face may hide a happy heart. A sensible person mourns, but fools always laugh. Correction from someone wise is better by far than praise from fools. Foolish laughter is stupid. It sounds like thorn crackling in a fire. Corruption makes fools of sensible people. And bribes can ruin you. Something completed is better than something just begun. Patience is better than too much pride. Only fools get angry quickly and hold their grudge. It isn't wise to ask, why is everything worse than it used to be? Having wisdom is better than an inheritance. Wisdom will protect you just like money. Knowledge with good sense will lead you to life. Think of what God has done. If God makes something crooked, can you make it straight? When times are good, you should be cheerful. When times are bad, think about what it means. God makes them both to keep us from knowing what will happen next. Some of life's questions. I've seen everything during this senseless life of mine. I've seen good citizens die for doing the right thing, while criminals live and prosper. So don't destroy yourself by being too good or acting too smart. Don't die before your time by being too evil or acting like a fool. Keep to the middle of the road. You can do this if you truly respect God. Wisdom will make you stronger than the 10 most powerful leaders in your city. No one in this world always does right. Don't listen to everything that everyone says, or you might hear your servant cursing you. Haven't you cursed many others? I told myself that I would be smart and try to understand all this, but it was too much for me. The truth is beyond us. It's far too deep. So I decided to learn everything I could and become wise enough to discover what life is all about. At the same time, I wanted to understand why it's stupid and senseless to be an evil fool. Here's what I discovered. A bad woman is worse than death. She is a trap, reaching out with body and soul to catch you. But if you obey God, you can escape. If you don't obey, you're done for. With all my wisdom, I have tried to find out how everything fits together, but so far I have not been able to. I do know there is one good man in 1,000, but never have I found a good woman. I did learn one thing. We were completely honest when God created us. But now we have twisted minds. Chapter 8. Who is smart enough to explain everything? Wisdom makes you cheerful and gives you a smile. Obey the king. If you promised God, then you will be loyal to the king. I advise you to keep that promise. Don't quickly oppose the king or argue when he has already made up his mind. The king's word is law. Now, no one can ask him, "Why are you doing this?" If you obey the king, you will stay out of trouble. So be wise and learn what to do and when to do it. Life is hard, but there is a time and a place for everything. Though no one can tell the future, we cannot control the wind or determine the day of our death. There is no escape in time of war, and no one can hide behind evil. I noticed all this and thought seriously about what goes on in the world. Why does one person have the power to hurt another? Who can understand the ways of God? I saw the wicked buried with honor, but God's people had to leave the holy city and were forgotten. None of this makes sense. When you see criminals commit crime after crime without being punished, it makes us want to start a life of crime. We commit hundreds of crimes and live a long time, in spite of us saying, "Everyone who lives right and respects God will prosper," but no one who sins and rejects God will prosper or live very wrong. There is something else that doesn't make sense to me. Good citizens are treated as criminals, while criminals are honored as though they were good citizens. So I think we should get as much out of life as we possibly can. There's nothing better than to enjoy our food and drink and have a good time. Then we can make it through this troublesome life that God has given us here on earth. Day and night, I went without sleep, trying to understand what goes on in this world. I saw everything God does, and I realized no one can really understand what happens. We may be very wise, but no matter how much we try or how much we claim to know, we cannot understand it all. Chapter 9. A day at a time. I thought about these things, then I understood that God has power over everyone, even those who are wise and live right. Anything can happen to any one of us, and so we never know if life will be good or bad. But exactly the same thing will finally happen to all of us, whether we live right and respect God or sin and don't respect God. Yes, the same thing will happen if we offer sacrifice to God or if we don't. If we keep our promises or are afraid to make them. It's terribly unfair for the same thing to happen to each of us. We are mean and foolish while we live, and then we'll die. As long as we are alive, we still have hope, just as a live dog is better off than a dead lion. We know we will die, but the dead don't know the thing. Nothing good will happen to them. They are gone and forgotten. Their loves, their hates, and their jealous feelings have all disappeared with them. They will never again take part in anything that happens on this earth. So be happy and enjoy eating and drinking. You decided long ago that this is what you should do. Dress up, comb your hair, and look your best. Life is short, and you love your wife, so enjoy being with her. This is what you're supposed to do as you struggle through life on this earth. Work hard at whatever you do. You will soon go to the world of the dead, where no one works or drinks or reasons or even knows anything. Here's something else I have learned. The fastest runners and greatest heroes don't always win races and battles. Wisdom, intelligence, and skill don't always make you healthy, rich, or popular. We each have our own share of misfortune. No one of us knows when we might fall victim to a sudden disaster and find ourselves like fish in a net or birds in a trap. Better to be wise than foolish. Once I saw what people really think of wisdom, it made an impression on me. It happened when a powerful ruler surrounded and attacked a small city where only a few people lived. The enemy army was getting ready to break through the city walls. But the city was saved by the wisdom of a poor person who was soon forgotten. So I decided that wisdom is better than strength. Yet if you are poor, no one pays any attention to you, no matter how smart you are. Words of wisdom spoken softly make much more sense than the shout of ruler to a crowd of fools. Wisdom is more powerful than weapons, yet one mistake can destroy all the good you have done. Chapter 10. A few dead flies in perfume make all of it stink, and as little foolishness outweighs out of a lot of wisdom. Sensible thought leads you to the right, foolish thoughts lead you to the wrong. Fools show their stupidity by the way they live. It's easy to see they have no sense. Don't give up your job when your boss gets angry. If you stay calm, you will be forgiven. Rulers do some things that are terribly unfair. They honor fools, but dishonor the rich. They let slaves ride on horses, but force slave owners to walk. If you dig a pit, you might fall in. If you break down a wall, a snake might bite you. You could even get hurt by chiseling a stone or chopping a log. If you don't sharpen your axe, it will be harder to use. If you are wise, you will know what to do. The powerful charm snake does you no good. If it bites you anyway, if you talk sensibly, you will have friends. If you talk foolishly, you will destroy yourself. Fools begin with nonsense, And their stupid chatter ends with disaster. They never tire of talking. But none of us really know what the future will bring. Fools wear themselves out. They don't know enough to find their way home. A country is in for trouble when its ruler is childish. Its leaders party all day long. But a nation will prosper when its ruler is mature and its leaders don't party too much. Some people are too lazy to fix a leaky roof. Then the house crashes. Eating and drinking make you feel happy, and money can buy everything you need. Don't let yourself think about cursing the king. Don't curse the rich, not even in secret. A little bird might hear and tell everything. Chapter 11. It pays to work hard. Be generous, and someday you will be rewarded. Share what you have with 7 or 8 others, because you never know when disaster may strike. Rain clouds always bring rain. Trees always stay wherever they fall. If you worry about the weather and don't plant seeds, you won't harvest a crop. No one can explain how a baby breathes before it is born. How so? How can anyone explain what God does? After all, God created everything. Plant your seeds early in the morning and keep working in the field until dark. Who knows? Your work might pay off and your seeds might produce youth and old age. Nothing on earth is more beautiful than the morning sun. Even if you have a very long life, you should try to enjoy each day, because darkness will come and will last a long time. Nothing makes sense. Be cheerful and enjoy life while you are young. Do what you want and find pleasure in what you see. But don't forget that God will judge you for everything you do. Rid yourself of all worry and pain, because the wonderful moments of youth quickly disappear. Chapter 12. Keep your Creator in mind while you are young. In years to come, you'll be burdened down with troubles and say, I don't enjoy life anymore. Someday the light of the sun and the moon and the stars will all seem dim to you. Rain clouds will remain above your head. Your body will grow feeble. Your teeth will decay. And your eyesight fail. The noisy grinding of grain and the voices of singers will be shut out by your deaf ears, but even the song of a bird will keep you awake. You'll be afraid to climb up a hill or walk down a road. Your hair will turn as white as almond blossom. You'll feel lifeless and drag along like an old grasshopper, which go to our eternal home. And the streets here are filled with those who mourn. The silver cord snaps, the golden bowl breaks, the water pitcher is smashed, and the pulley at the well is shattered. So our bodies return to the earth, and the life-giving breath return to God. Nothing makes sense. I have seen it all. Nothing makes sense. Respect and obey God. I was a wise teacher with much understanding, and I corrected a number of proverbs that I had carefully studied. Then I tried to explain these things in the best and the most accurate way. Words of wisdom are like a stick a farmer used to make animals move. These sayings come from a shepherd, and they are like nails that fasten things together. My child, I warn you to stay away from any teachings except these. There is no end to books, and too much study will wear you out. Everything you were thought can be put into a few words. Respect and obey God. This is what life is all about. God will judge everything we do, even what is done in secret, whether good or bad. Amen.